Good morning, everybody. Sorry it took me a few days to make this video, but every time I tried to start it, I didn't even know where I was going with it. This is what happened. I went to the gym the other night. I parked outside of the facility in another part of the parking lot, waiting for the crowd to thin out. And at about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I got nice and thin. Everybody was leaving, for the weekend. Thursday night, because I can't believe it's Sunday already. So I went to start the car. The car was making the most horrific noises I've ever heard in my life. Not normal noises that I'm used to, because, there's not the same kind of engines that I'm used to. So I was having a hard time figuring out what it was. I figured it was some kind of pulley or something like that. So I tried it a couple of times and it wasn't starting. I had electricity. I could open and close the windows. And I'm going to get to, let me insert this here and then I'll get to the car, because I have a 50-50 chance that my car is dead and that the engine is blown. Or I need a starter. And we're not going to know that for a little bit while. So let me get on to this part. I turned the key. I could still open and close the windows. I said, okay, good. The thing with these vehicles is, if you have a dead battery, which I did last August, I was in the car. I was about to go to the shower house. I was at a campground. And I shut all the windows and I forgot something in the back. So my doors were still locked and I closed all the windows. When I took the key out of the ignition, I jumped in the back to grab what I needed and I came back up front. When I went to unlock my door wouldn't unlock. Then I went to put the key in to see what was going on. I'm getting nothing. I'm getting click, 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 clicking, but no lights. Clicking and no windows opening. In these cars with the electric locks on them, okay? And I don't know about on any other vehicle, but on this one with a dead battery, I couldn't unlock the doors and I couldn't open the windows. Now, if anybody remembers last August, it was a little hot. It was about over 100 degrees that day. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was locked in my car, unable to get out or open the windows. Thank God I had my phone, or I would have had to smash my driver's window to get out of the car. This is the most horrendous, horrible mistake that these guys on these cars make. Because if you look, when you get in your car, look at your little button on your door that you push down to lock your doors. I have a little thing that looks like that, and it goes flat inside. There's nothing to pull up. So you cannot physically, manually pull the little tab up. I had tweezers. I had those little surgical pinching things. Nothing. I tried I put duct tape over it, hoping it would stick to it and I could get it up. Thank God I had my phone. I called for help. Someone came. I had to wait for them to get there. Then I had to wait to try to jumpstart the car enough to get some juice in the battery to get out. I was trapped in my car in over 100 degrees for about 45 minutes last August. Leave your windows open enough to get your arm out to open the door. Do not shut your windows ahead of time like I did, and if you forget something, you better open at least one. That this is a horrible safety hazard. I can't even, we'll get into that another day, a discussion on this, but that's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life. Onto the car. So the car won't start, but it's late at night. So I said, all right, in the morning, I'll call the boys, ask if I can have the car towed over there, which, P.S., long story short, yeah, they did. We got the car towed to where it's going to be fixed, and it's going to be, if it's the starter, about $800. I put a GoFundMe up. It's under the name Jennifer Lane. That's my name. September 11th, first responder van repair. It's there. I double checked and went in as just a visitor, so it's there. If not, I gotta figure out about renting a vehicle. Um, Bugs. It just scared me. I thought one flew in. They got an expert guy coming in on Tuesday or Wednesday to let me know, hopefully, definitively, if it is the timing chain. If it's a timing chain, that's a death sentence on these Dodge engines. Um, I won't get into the whole mechanics of it because it took them 20 minutes to explain why, and it's idiotic. Another design idiotic flaw just to keep you buying new cars, because if your timing chain goes, it destroys your engine, okay? And somehow it broke right after I turned the car off. That's it, they just snapped. And I was having issues starting the car for a couple of days. So in between the two separate noises that are happening, this is the big issue. If it's the starter, that's not a problem. They can do that for about $700, but that we won't know for a while. So basically, that's my entire check for the month. So I have one choice: sit stuck in my car, unable to move it. I am not near any food. I am not near any water. I have some lovely person who's coming to check on me every other day to see what I need and kind enough to bring it to me, but I'm about to lose her in a couple of days, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no idea. I have 10 days till I get paid, and I'm going to dump my whole paycheck, my whole disability check into fixing the car, and I won't have a dollar for the rest of the month. I won't be able to eat. I can't put gas in the car. They're nice enough to let me stay as long as I possibly need. When he looked at the mileage, he said it's about that time that the timing chain could have went. I'm at about 200,000 miles now, but these are supposed to go to 350. So we need some big prayers out there that this is just the starter and it is, sorry, not the timing chain. It's taken me a few days to calm down because I am stuck in the sun. There are no trees in this parking lot because this place didn't put them in because they don't want people parking in their parking lot during the day under the shade trees. The only good thing I have is I have a good wind, and that's my only saving grace. It was like 103 yesterday in this car, and it's not a place where I can just, pop a lawn chair out and sit outside. I'm stuck in the car all day long, which is opening the windows. There's no hanging outside. This is not freaking Walmart. And I'm in a place where there's a lot of cops, and they don't put up with that around here. I'm in a safe place to sleep, but the problem is there ain't no shenanigans going on in this town where I am. They don't put up with that. So I'm trying to get this car fixed as soon as possible, if it's humanly possible. So if you find it in your heart to throw me some money, I would really appreciate it, because this is a really, really bad situation I'm in. And this was one of the worst case scenarios I was worried about, especially living here in Florida. I can't even think of what to say, because I just want to sit here and lose my shit right now. This was like the last straw on the pile. There's no stores to walk to, and even if there was, I couldn't physically do it. There's just no way. The bone cancer is so bad now. I'm having a really hard time. So I thought, worst case scenario, in case the car is done, I made some phone calls through the insurance company to check on some kind of rehab nursing facilities, I don't qualify for hospice because I'm not sick enough, because I can still eat. I'm not, and my kidneys, and when they looked at my last blood tests, my kidney and my liver are still functioning too high to qualify for hospice. Hospice is only if you have 6 months to 6 weeks to live. Other than that, if you're still alive in like 6 months or 90 days, they send you back home. I went through this with my mother. I went through this with my father. That's just it. If you ain't sick enough to stay there, they send you home, and then they check on you there. No one makes house calls for hospice to a car in a parking lot. So then I thought, screw it. Let me see if I can get my ass in a nursing home, just in case the car, or at least put my name on a list, because I know that takes forever anyway, 2.5 year minimum wait. I ain't got that kind of time. Not with what's happening right now. So I explained to her, she went through my records, saw that the bone cancer is spreading, and that's still not enough of an emergency to bump me up on the list, because there's 10 million other people down here sick and dying. And I'm also under 60, which shoves my ass farther down the list. So all in all, there was not good news at all this week. Well, this weekend. So that's the good, the bad, and the shitty of what's been going on. And even if I wanted to give up, sign away my check to a rehab facility and never have another dollar to myself, I still can't get in. I still can't get in. Everything is so overloaded and overcrowded because of all these back-to-back hurricanes we're having, people losing their house, most of the elderly and sick people for the last 2 years that, with Hurricane Ian and Nicole, And then Milton and Helene, there has been an influx of seniors just saying screw it and going into the nursing care facilities. It's a 6-year wait list just to even be considered to go into HUD housing, and there is none. There is none. There's none. I've been on the phone all weekend trying to figure something out, for some kind of emergency services. And, yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, that's what's going on. I don't know what else to say right now without losing my mind crying. And, that's it. You want to do van life? You think you're going to be saving money to do this on purpose? Everybody's watching those videos and you think everything's hunky-dory and something stupid happens. That you better have a brand new car with some kind of warranty with at least 2 open credit cards and a huge amount of cash in your savings account if you're even thinking of doing this. Between the gas and the maintenance and the wear and tear on your vehicle, moving it all day long, opening and closing your windows. I'm having trouble with the one sliding door because it's open, close, open, close, open, close. You're wearing out your door motors, you're wearing out your window motors. I got one window that when it goes down, it just crashes like the last inch. So now I can barely open one of the windows because I'm wearing out the motor, open, close, especially with the rain. Our rainy season just started, which is possibly my only saving grace, but it's only going to be for like 2-3 hours a day. We're going to have these rolling storms that come through either once a day or twice a day. Once a day will be a nice 3-hour rain. Twice a day would be 2 like 1-hour storms, which basically does nothing but make it more humid. You want a nice long 3-hour storm. That's the only thing that calms things down. Also, I saw this storm's coming. A big one's forming. I'm not sure which way that's going, but it looks like hurricane season's off with a bang. And I have no way, if we get a tropical storm, if this thing comes this way, I got no way to move the car. I am stuck where I am, and that's it. So, if you're thinking of doing the van life, you might want to think twice about this. You really do. It's not a good thing. It's fine if you're camping in a campground and crap like that, but if you can't afford the campground and you think that you're going to spend your Social Security check living in your vehicle, honey, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a lot of physical work every single day. You're not just hanging around, having a campfire. There's a lot of stuff you got to do to the car. A lot of cleaning, a lot of maintenance. You're constantly worried about bugs, and it's a job. It's 24 hours a day of stuff that you're doing in the car, for the car, outside. It is not an easy life. I'm having a really tough time because I didn't bounce back from the bronchitis, and my lung cancer has advanced higher up. I lost about that much of my lung tissue with the bronchitis issue. And I'm running out because you only have from here to here. I have from here to here in this one section left of my lungs that's functioning properly. The rest is shriveling up like a grape in the sun turning into a raisin is basically what's happening to my lungs. Which is not a good thing. It is 7 a.m. and it is 92 degrees already. And all I have is this little guy. Because the one from Walmart is deciding to do the blowback thing. I don't know why it's acting like this. It's clicking through the speeds, but there's like no air coming out. It's like it's blowing backwards. I don't even understand what makes these things do that, except for that the cage on the fan is too small, and it actually starts making a suction to where the fan won't blow properly. So maybe the ones that I had, it wasn't that they were gunked up, is that they're too enclosed space. This one plugs in, so I constantly have to make sure, well, I got sun and power, so I have plenty of sun. There's fucking no problem about that. And the batteries, because the car is about 90 degrees all day long on my thermometer, in here, that the batteries don't want to charge. They're starting to overheat. So I need whatever little wind comes out of this to blow at whatever battery I'm charging. They were just shutting off their little protection thing, overheat protection. Keep shutting them off every 20 minutes while they're trying to charge, and each one takes about 3 hours to charge. So my head hurts. I woke up, I had such a headache. I fell asleep last night when it was raining at like 5:30. I woke up at midnight. I don't know what happened. I probably wasn't eating. I couldn't really eat yesterday, and I'm trying to eat different things, and because it was so hot, and there was no break, no clouds, no nothing yesterday, not one cloud. I never thought I'd be wishing for that sky art crap. Go ahead, put your fake clouds up, please. At this point, I'm begging them to do it. But I woke up at 12:30 with a raging headache. I threw up. I was dizzy. So in between having heat stroke stuff, my sugar must have went down the toilet, and I was just out completely. That's happened to me a few times over the last 6 years, where I just go to lay down and I pass out unconscious and it's funny because it's the same amount of hours. So I'm anywhere from 7 to 9 hours when the sugar drops. Or my lungs just crap out enough that I don't have enough oxygen. That's the first time it's really happened in the van, that it was for that extended amount of time. I can't tell you how many times Richard came home and found me unconscious on the floor, and they can't even explain why. They're guessing at what's happening, either my kidneys or my liver, but I think it's more my kidneys having issues, and just, quick boop, turn off and turn on again. It's just, they can't explain it. They call it sin scope, which is spontaneous unconsciousness. So with the liver, the kidneys, my heart, and my lungs, it could be a combination of both. We had never figured this out, and they don't. It's an undiagnosable syndrome when you have more than one major organ. So that was the best they could explain it, and that's the actual definition of sin scope is spontaneous unconsciousness. Mine lasts 8 to 9 hours. Um, so that happened last night. I feel okay today. I just had a crap load of sugar. And my sugar was a little low this morning. It was 77. Still decent, but that's pretty low. For me, usually it gets higher in the morning. Well, it gets a little higher while you're sleeping, your sugar. So it should have been at least like 105 when I woke up this morning. So I'm assuming that when I woke up, well, when I say this morning, I mean, 1 o'clock in the morning, um, it should have been at least a little higher because I was asleep from 5:30 in the afternoon till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I don't even know what happened. So that's what's happening. I know this is long, but I got plenty of sun right now, so I'll be able to throw this up. Um, I'll give you some updates as it goes along. Um, the shop is gonna give this guy that they actually brought in a guy from another shop to help out with this, and they're gonna give him a bay and a lift and to check it out. So if you have it in your heart, I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you probably tomorrow. Okay, guys? I'll see you later. Have a good finish the weekend. And I'll see you after Tuesday. Okay?